Alright, when you pull up the new matchmaking screen, you'll notice there's a new option here that says Allow Mixed Avatars. And of course you have all the same options here. So Allow Mixed Avatars means that you can fight someone with a Shogun 2 avatar and not just to follow the samurai. Or if you're playing Shogun 2 and you don't want to deal with all of these freaking rifle units, you can just uncheck this and it'll only put you up against other players using Shogun 2 avatars rather than follow the samurai avatars. I'll allow both. Because, believe it or not, you definitely can beat Fall of the Samurai armies with a Shogun 2 avatar. I will show you how eventually, but at first I want to show you me using the Fall of the Samurai army. So yeah, it's definitely possible, though, to beat these gunpowder armies with one of the old ones. Now, as the game gets older and older, that may change, I don't know. But let's see. Trying to think. A ruins map. I do want to show you artillery. I kind of hate the fact, like, I'll bring these parrot guns. Artillery in this game is devastatingly effective, and I'll just show you a little build that I got going here. I'll actually use kind of a combination of troops here just to show you some different troops. So I'll bring some White Bear Infantry, some Azure Dragon Force, and then I'll bring a couple of Black Tortoise Infantry, and then I'm going to bring a couple of Yariki to help defend my help just defend from other cav attacks. And then I will bring let's bring some Spear Levy. These guys are always handy for disruption or just protecting your avatar. Let's see if I can trade out one of those. There we go. So I'll bring one more Black Tortoise Force, that way I can get 3 of these dudes. So this is kind of a large army. Now, it's always good to bring long-range skirmish units, and in this case, my cannon is going to be the long-range skirmish unit. They are capped to 1, so you can't bring, like, a ton of cannons, thank goodness, because when you all see how effective this thing is, it's probably not going to make you happy. Like, I understand artillery was probably darn effective at this time, but it does kind of make a nuisance in multiplayer because it is really good. And if you get pitted against an Armstrong gun or something, oh, good gosh, man. I had one Armstrong gun hit my lines, and it killed literally 60 men in one shot. And by the time I engaged the enemy force, I had lost over 300 men to his artillery unit. So the artillery camping is pretty bad. Now, a little bit to help offset that, if you do capture all of the key buildings, now it will actually start a countdown timer, similar to what you see in a siege battle if you capture the fort. So you can't camp completely, but the thing is and the cannons do run out of ammunition. It's not like Napoleon Total War where they'll never run out of ammunition. But still, they can get a heck of a lot of kills. But I mean, I do like the fact that CA made it to where there's a countdown when you capture all the buildings, because that way if someone just goes in corner camps, if you just capture all of the buildings, it'll start a timer and they've got 1 minute until they lose. So that's kind of interesting, but the artillery is definitely strong. So it's not like Shogun 2 where someone would bring like a fire projecting mangonel or something and I would just ignore it because I'm just like, whatever, it sucks, it's not going to do anything. No, you better believe, like, the Parrot guns and the Armstrong gun, they will beat the living crap out of you. So my opponent played a retainer against me. I'm not sure what it is. Enemy elite infantry reload skill -6. Well, I'm not using any elite infantry because I have my artillery, and the artillery is kind of expensive. Let's take a look at the map. There's a morale shrine here. Looks like my opponent deploys closer to it. I deploy closer to this farmhouse, which isn't a big benefit, but whatever. The artillery does fire pretty well on this game too. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm gonna plunk my artillery down. Let's see what its range looks like. So I'm gonna unlimber it just to get an idea how far it can reach. I'll probably want to move my artillery forward just a little bit. Probably like up into here. So I'll start my artillery right here. We'll move it up on the top of this hill on the edge of the tree line and be able to fire from there. So I'm going to use my white bears to make up my center. And then I will use I'll use my a dragon unit and a tortoise unit. I'll kind of put them back here for reserves and deploy them as needed, and then I'll grab these other 2 black tortoise units. So I'm using a mixed army here. It's a mixed army of Shogunate and Imperial forces. So yeah, let's see. Sorry, my phone was ringing there. I had to Had to turn that off for just a moment. Put my spear levy right here. And I'm going to leave one of my Yari key visible, and I'm going to leave the other one kind of hidden in this woods, right around this artillery, so that hopefully if my opponent gets back there and thinks that nothing might be around my artillery, that he might get an unpleasant surprise. Alright, my opponent has readied up, so let's get moving. I do want to go ahead and run up on top of this little ridge. Let's see if he's using artillery, because if he is, I want to make sure he doesn't get the first shot on mine. He's definitely got some units hidden. So let's see, he's got a Vermilion Bird Force, a Black Bear, Marine Infantry, United States Marine, Yari Key, Carbine Cav, another Carbine Cav, and a White Tiger Force. My opponent's using some elite infantry. So the first thing I want to do is get my I want to get my artillery set up as soon as possible, so that I can use it to start hammering his elite units. My opponent does not have any long-range skirmish capability, and I outnumber him, but he is going to definitely have like a qualitative advantage on me, because I'm not using any veterans or anything like that. So I actually think this position right here will be just about fine. I don't want to rush forward too much, because I do want my artillery to get some shots. This artillery certainly isn't moving quickly. It's almost into a position where I can deploy it, though. My opponent's probably going to do like a little bit of scouting, and that's smart. Or he's just going to run his Carbine Cav over here to harass me. That makes sense, too. So I'll run these Azir Dragons into that forest to kind of have something facing that way. So that'll give me some coverage. There we go. Alright, my cannons are now visible. They're almost out of the woods onto some ground where they can open fire. But the sooner I can get these deployed, the better, because as soon as my opponent finishes capturing that morale shrine, he's going to start coming for me. So I'm going to want to open fire on his elite units just as quick as I can. So as soon as my cannons clear the woods, I'm going to go ahead and deploy them. So bringing cannons is a risk, because it's a lot of money, and if you don't get some good shots with them, it won't be worth it. So like I said, I do outnumber my opponent, but I do not have any kind of qualitative advantage, that's for sure. I'll go ahead and start spread my men out, though. I'm going to ungroup my men just so I don't accidentally mess up any command orders here. And I have another unit of reserve waiting right here. Okay. My opponent's taking his Carbine Cav back. It looks like he's captured the... oh crap, man. His guys are really going to have an advantage now, because he's got the Archery Dojo and the Morale Shrine. That is really unbalanced. They shouldn't have had both of those on the same side of the map. That's insane. Absolutely insane. I'm going to take these guys off fire at will. My guns are kind of like messed up here. They were all in the woods when I took them out, so hopefully they'll be able to fire. Let's find one of his expensive units, like that U.S. Marine unit, and I'm going to open up with some shrapnel shot. Hopefully we can score a hit. Alright, my artillery's firing, and I did get a couple of kills, nothing too massive. I don't even think two of my cannons are in position to be able to fire. I deployed it too soon. It's pretty stupid of me, to be honest. I got a bad deployment position. And bringing cannons, of course, kind of puts you on the defensive, which I don't necessarily like, but that's just the case. That's the way it's going to be. I'm killing some of his men. It's not super effective, but it can be more effective if you get it in a better position. I didn't really get the best position. So really the only advantage this is going to give me is the first shot advantages. I just got a pretty darn good hit on his Marines right there. Like I said, you want to target the most expensive units possible. Otherwise your artillery is wasted. My opponent really should be rushing me at this point. But I'm going to try and wrap around his flank. His Yariki is kind of in a downhill position right here. So I'm going to go ahead and charge them, because I think I can kill them with the downhill advantage that my Yariki will get. And see if I can go ahead and knock them out of the fight now. Okay, some skirmishing has begun over here with his White Tiger Force. White Tiger Force is crap, so I'm not worried about him. Okay, he's dismounted his Yariki. So I'm just going to ignore them and then go knock their horses out of the way. Or actually, since he dismounted his Yariki, I'm just going to charge right into the side of his army. So I'll come charge right into his most expensive infantry over here. And I'm going to take my artillery and actually target his general. It's pretty cheap, but
Sir, your general is under attack.
Patchy is taking some hits. My opponent is not remounted his troops yet. Alright, so you can see the fighting's pretty fierce. My opponent is actually shooting some of his own men in the back right now. But I'm about to pull a big flanking maneuver on him. I'm actually going to turn this one around so we can shoot this Yariki in the back, and then I'll let this unit start taking flank shots. So you see that disruption I ran with my spear levy allows my guys to keep shooting, and I'll lose cheap units while he'll be losing expensive units. Now, these Black Tortoise Force are absolutely no match for my opponent's troops 1 for 1. Oh, he's charging these Kyoto police in on me, so hopefully I'll be able to kill a lot of them. That's not good for me. I'm trying to gun down the rest of this Yariki unit because it is actually kind of dangerous to my crappy forces. I'm going to pull another Yarikav charge right down the center of his line. Some of my troops just routed in the center. Okay, I've now routed this. I am worried about his Carbine Cav. My Yarikav got thrashed. But I've won this flank, and I can now pull up on this flank.
Your men are routing, sir.
But yeah, he's going to be able to charge my flanking forces with this Carbine Cav. It's going to mess them up pretty bad. But I've got some good flanking shots about to start coming from the woods. He's targeting my general, I think. I need to keep my general alive because my troops have really poor morale. I'm really not sure if I'm going to win this. It's going to be close if I win it. His Carbine Cav just wrecked my troops over here. I've got a unit that's come back from routing right here, though. He just charged his U.S. Marines right there, and I was able to take them out. He's got a unit that just came back from routing over here, though. Like I said, qualitatively, his units are extremely superior to my own. So I'm definitely counting on numbers right here. He's charging his Carbine Cav. Hopefully my rifles can gun down most of them, because a Cav charge will badly damage my men. My White Bears might be able to finish off this Infantry de Marine. His Carbine Cav is in pretty bad shape, but it still is probably going to rout this Black Tortoise Force. They're not very good. Come on, White Bears, take out that French Marine. You can do it. Oh, I've got units that have come back from routing. Hurry, back to the fight, back to the fight. I do think I am going to be able to pull this off. Wow, that was a close one. Heck of a fight. So you saw two different strategies at work here. and I think you can see how both of them will win. So my strategy was to use the artillery to help draw in the opponent, where I use my numerical advantage to try and win from there. So even though I was using outflanking, you saw that I definitely misused my Yari Cav when I charged it up the center. But the first Yari Cav was definitely not a misuse. It choked his men up and got them shot a whole lot because his men were so qualitatively superior to mine. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that battle. Hope it gave you a little bit of an idea about what battles are like. I'll show you the post-battle screen, and then we will go from there. But I really hope that you enjoyed seeing some footage. I'm doing pretty well on land battles. Naval battles, I'm still trying to figure out. They're not quite what I expected, but I'll see here if I can just figure them out a little more. But I thought that was a pretty good land battle. It was a close one. Like I said, I hate using artillery, but I don't know, it's just one of the strategies you can do. The artillery doesn't really cost enough, in my opinion. And I didn't use it to be like completely super effective there either, just because I positioned it poorly. But if I didn't get it positioned and start taking some shots, I wasn't going to end up doing anything with it. So let's see. I definitely could have managed my troops better there. My opponent definitely had opportunities to beat me. You can see I lost more men than I killed, just because the army I deployed was much larger. I unlocked this unit here, the Kyoto Police. Gain clan influence points. And you get 2 clan tokens for winning and 1 for losing, so you can actually gain clan tokens faster now, which is pretty cool. I got a new unit of White Bear Infantry. I'll take them. If I don't end up wanting them, I'll use it later. So here's the unit statistics. My White Bear Infantry right here got the most kills. That would be the veteran that I just picked up. So my White Bears did good. You can see that my Black Tortoise Force and Azure Force, of course, did worse because they're not quite as good. My Parrot Gun got 84 kills, which is not outstanding for how much it cost, but it at least did draw them in so that I could make the attack. This was the Yari key that I wasted. My Spear Levy, of course, were meant to be wasted. Look at the kills his Infantry de Marine got. That unit got hit by, well, actually, no, his Infantry de Marine did not get hit by the cavalry. I think it was his United States Marine that got hit by the cavalry. So, yeah, you can see that he was using qualitatively superior troops. His Kyoto Police got a lot of kills, too, for being a melee unit. There's his United States Marines. These guys were the ones that took my Yari key charge and still ended up getting that many kills. So yeah, his Carbine Cav also got quite a few kills because they routed those Black Tortoise forces on my flank. Most of the units on here do not stand up well to a Cav charge, and it's usually best to support them with a unit of spears. But of course, I use my spears at that one point because throwing them out in the middle of the mix can, kind of throw your opponent's forces off. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that battle. I'll bring you a naval battle next.